In this episode of Talking About Orks, we're going to be going over Stormboyz, which is probably one of the best units in the Index, actually. So what makes them so good is that they are essentially Ork boys. So they have the same profile, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, 2 attacks, and 6+ save. So nothing too much difference there. They are equipped with sluggers and choppers, so they get +1 attack when they use their choppers, resulting in 3 attack space per model. But because they have jump packs, they have a movement of 12. And that is quite a bit different. And in addition to that, they have the full throttle rule. This unit can advance and charge at the same turn, but if it does so, roll a d6 for each model slain, and Overwatch has been resolved. For each roll of 1, the unit suffers a mortal wound. So now you get 12 plus d6 and can still charge, resulting in a 24 to 30 inch threat range from these guys. And they fly, so it means they can assault flyers. So any flyers that are on the board are not immune from their ability to jump up and smack them with their choppas or the power claw. They don't have the extra attack for more than 20 models in the unit, but that's about their only downside. So essentially that's it. They have Eerie Go and Mob Rule, so they can reroll their charge distances. They have Mob Rule, so they can suffer. They have all the same benefits of the morale, and they have an additional layer of morale on top of that. But they're just Ork boys that move really fast, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And they get advance and charge without the need of a war boss, because the war boss can still. It's all infantry. They count as infantry? They are infantry, so yeah, they can benefit from a war boss if you have so much. If you want to avoid the mortal wounds, but you don't have to do that. The war boss is limited to infantry, right? Yes, infantry. So if you want to put a war boss on a bike with the Stormboyz, you can do that, because the war bosses will still they will still benefit from the war boss's rule. But again, you don't have to waste points or a slot on that if you don't want to. All you're going to do is lose some of the guys, on average, probably 6 out of a full unit when they charge, if you do that. But they're so fast, you may not, you don't have to do the charge and assault all the time. So, I mean, especially if you got just a turn of moving first turn without having to charge is great, and then you've got, you can pretty much get anywhere on the board in 2 turns. And of course you will still want to support them with a force field and a pain boy for that first turn while they're getting shot at, to try and keep them alive. And just like running lots of boys with the jump, the more is better. So 90 Stormboyz is not out of the question. And you can do that because Stormboyz are only 2 points more than regular Orks. 2 points more per model. That's up quickly when you're running 100 of them, but the fact is they're only 2 points more for that extra speed and -1 attack for not having the that extra rule. That's totally worth it. Totally worth it. I said you still want to support them with a force field and a pain boy on bike, preferably on bike, so they can keep up with them if need to. But they're just so fast, and they fly. They can take out flyers. They're fast. And I say they're fast. They're fast. But that's not all. You also have Boss Zagstruk, which is a steal in and of himself at a mere 88 points. So he has the same rule. He can advance after he charges. He will suffer a mortal wound. He has a cyborg body, which is essentially a 5-up feel no pain. And he also has Drill Boss, friendly units of Goth Stormboyz, so you will have to play Goth with Zagstruk. Within 6 inches of Boss Zagstruk, automatically pass morale tests. They're fearless with Zagstruk around. They're 2 points per model more expensive, they're fast, and with Zagstruk, they're fearless. There is no downside to any of this whatsoever, other than having to keep within 6 inches of Zagstruk, which means a little bit of a conga line, but that's minor. Minor downside compared to what you get out of them. So the Horde, the Green Tide using Stormboyz instead of regular boys, supported by Zagstruk instead of the jump, is an incredibly viable, incredibly powerful build. If you really want to back them up with some additional shooting, say artillery, Ludas, kill tanks, 90 Stormboyz with some firepower backed by them, easily fits in 2,000 points. And you only need to run the 3 characters, just Zagstruk, a paintbow on a bike, a big mech on a bike, and then a whole bunch of shooting units. Well, maybe another KFF for the rest of the shooting units. Just so that's 4 characters, which is fine. You know, you are going to lose the objective secured by not running troops, but you're going to be as fast and as viable as the jump, but you may be able to get more units in. So you might have to weather a turn of shooting. You don't get to jump the first turn. You probably won't be able to assault first turn, depending on how smart your opponent is. But after that, you're just going to be flying over things. Fly is amazing because you can get over roadblocks and bubble wraps, which is something the boys can't do. So now your opponent has to change their deployment because now you can fly over their bubble wraps to get to the juicy units. There is. And if you really want to add some commandos too. You have to have commandos popping up all over the place while the Stormboyz are flying all over the place and you're shooting the crap out of things. This is an incredibly viable build for the Ork army in this index. And it's something to work on. I mean, there's lots of flavors and iterations you can do with this, but the points are there to mix this up correctly, for sure. So there's really nothing bad to say. There's absolutely nothing bad to say about this. This is, other than the fact that it's like $5 a model. So if you're going to buy the new plastic Stormboyz, you're going to be hurting financially. Those kits are expensive for the sheer number of models that you need to have. And they're only 5 in a box on top of it. Just exactly how much is a box of Stormboyz? $25, yeah. So it's $5 a model, and so retail, of course. Most places are going to get something of a discount. So let's say 15% discount, and you want 90 of them. That's a lot of money. That's almost $400 just in Stormboyz. That's if you buy brand new the new kit. And Stormboyz are not easy to find used because they are so good. So a horde of Stormboyz is something that is definitely worth trying. I personally am just proxying. I'm using my Slugger Boys as Stormboyz when I play them because I don't have the resources to have dedicated Stormboy units like that. And I really don't like the new kit, to be honest. The aesthetic just doesn't work for me. The extra furs and stuff that's on there, yeah, it just doesn't work. Especially since Stormboyz are supposed to be disciplined. They're supposed to be the almost human-like, like the commandos. They're very similar in that regard, where they're less orky than other orcs and more human. So that's it for Stormboyz and Boss Zagstruk. Very, very good. Very good. You could even, if you want to support your rest of your army with Stormboyz, have a unit of jump. You can still jump things if you want to, plus the Stormboyz, plus commandos. Just try to get everything into combat as fast as possible. Very good way to combo tricks. So Have you used Stormboyz successfully? Do you run them in mass numbers, like 90, or a single unit supported with some other stuff? Let me know what you think about Stormboyz. I think they're awesome. The fact that they're only 2 points more than regular boys makes them viable competitively. And the trade-off for that speed, for those extra points, is worth the points, basically. The speed just makes up for that extra point. So that's it for this episode of Talking About Orks, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for watching this episode of Talking About Orks. Please subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications for new Talking About Orks videos every Wednesday, new battle reports every Friday, and hobby videos whenever I can. Thanks for watching.